Delaney estate?
Yes, sir. We've been expecting it. Head straight up the drive. The guest house is to the right of the garage.
Are they having a party?
Yes, sir. But Mr. Delaney has kept the garage area cleared. So you won't be disturbed, General.
Very well.
He's here, Mr. Delaney.
Good. Take care of the car. Keep it out of sight. Make sure that he's very comfortable. And tell him I'll see him as soon as I can get away.
Our host just told me you're going to make trouble. Something about some memo you're going to publish? Is that true, Mr. Sebastian? Are you going to be a troublemaker?
I can be more than a troublemaker. I can be a full-blown disaster. You know what I've got.
Suppose you tell me.
November 13. That's the date. I know about the setup in the valley. And I know that you've got a two-star general tucked away somewhere. I've got the whole book on you.
You haven't got the slightest idea what's going on! You're not just stupid. You're blind. You're deaf.
Now, you better hold that until you hear what I'm going to say.
Why? Why should I deal with you? Why should I even listen to you? You can wake up in the morning and find that you have a very bad case of professional leprosy. Pulitzer Prize or no Pulitzer Prize.
Don't threaten me.
Don't threaten me! You can't stop something like this. Who do you think you're dealing with?
I'm dealing with a social lunatic. I should probably drive a stake through your foot, but that would cause other problems. So I've decided that you are going to scrub your plans. All of them. You will be out of this country before the 13th. If you fail to comply with these terms, I'll publish that memo. And believe me, you won't walk away from that.
Over there. Hide. What? Don't call the police. Go on. Do it.
name is Mary Kingston. She's an actress.
Where does she live?
2356 Gower Street. Apartment 12.
Get her. Well, I hope you're telling the truth. Because if you aren't, we just have to do this all over again. Is there a key to this room?
No, sir.
Well, get out there in the corridor and stay there. Don't let anybody come in here until I get back.
Right.
Well, I have some things I have to do. Until I find out whether you're telling the truth about this girl, I can't decide what's going to happen to you.
Operator, I'd like to call Oxford 0490.
You can dial that yourself, sir.
I'm sorry, operator, I'm disabled.
Oh, I'll connect you, sir.
Hello?
Get out of there, Mary. No.
George, where are you?
They've got me. Look, I'm sorry, babe. I had to tell them your address, but they'd have found it anyway. Look, now they're coming after you. Now get out of there.
Well, where are you? We'll call the police.
No! I need you out of there safe or I'm dead. I need you to bargain my way out of here.
What?
Look, just go to that hotel we were at last week and stay there. And don't call the cops. They own the cops. Run, Mary!
Cover this piece of garbage up. We'll get her prints off the poker later. Connor should be here soon. I gotta get downtown. Okay, you guys call in. Tell headquarters to put out a squeal on Mary Kingston. Suspicion of murder.
Lieutenant, we just talked to a neighbor who said he saw her pile out of here with a sedan on her tail about 11:30 last night.
So?
Well, I just thought we'd ask around and try and get a description of the car that's chasing her.
Parker, how'd you make Sergeant? The girl's a fugitive. She's on the run. We got her boyfriend here. They was at a party together earlier in the evening. What do you want? Pictures of the murder?
I just
All
thought
right, now listen. You do what I tell you. You make a good cop yet.
And the continuance to the 15th. Oh, hold on a minute. Hi, Jake.
Hi. Listen, I checked on that client of yours. She's not going to do you much good in court. She's a boozer. She's been in and out of at least, 10 dry docks since she was 18 years old.
Great. Great. All right, I'll drop by later.
Oxford 8704. Oh, yes, Susie, I got a couple for you. There's Mr. Dwight. He's at the townhouse this time. Right. And Mr. Mack. Yeah, right. Sure, hon. You're late.
So I'm late. Since when did you get to punch my card?
Look, don't bite my head off. I don't care if she sits in there until she turns a bright shade of orange. I mean, you are such a big shot. You got clients lined up all the way down the hall.
Wait a minute.
What's one more, right?
What client?
She's in your office. She was here when I came in this morning. She's been waiting in the ladies' room.
In a ladies' room?
In the ladies' room.
Did she say what her name was?
Oxford 8704. Oh, Rose, have I got a bunch for you, honey. Oh! Damn it, Shake. Why you...
She'll call back. There's nothing more persistent than a hungry hooker. Now, did she say what her name was?
She wouldn't say. But she's very young. And she's very pretty. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Ah, cute.
Yeah, you're a nut, you know that?
Woo! Oxford 8704. Oh, hi, Doreen. No, I'm sorry, honey.
Morning. I'm Jake Axminster.
Hi, yes, I remember you from the studio club about 2 years ago. You were hired to find Margot Dean, and we talked about her over dinner for about 2 hours, and afterwards... Well, you remember, don't you? Oh, of course you don't.
Yeah, now I remember, sure. Have a seat, Miss,
Kingston.
Kingston, right. Caroline.
Mary.
Mary. Mary, yes, of course. What can I do for you, Mary?
Well, I need your help. I'm in a lot of trouble.
Just a minute. Marcia, get me all the late editions of the papers. I already got the Tribune, so call Jerry Seaver at the Post-Dispatch and tell him I want to see him.
Hey, now, why'd you ask her to do that?
Well, you see, every news hawk gets a story a little differently. They've all got a couple of harness bulls on the payroll. Now, if we really want to know what the cops are thinking, we got to read everything.
You're gonna help me.
Well, now, wait a minute. I didn't say that. Depends on what you tell me.
Well, we can't go to the police. Will you promise me that?
I'm not going to promise you anything. You see, I don't like the cops, and they don't like me. They're all on the take, every one of them, all the way from Police Chief Jim Davis down to the prowlies on the beat, back up to the DA's office, even Mayor Shaw. But I got a problem. I have a license. It has to be renewed every year. So if I'm going to get involved in something very hot, I got to get the whole picture. Follow? And then maybe I can help you with a few things.
Well, everything that it says in the paper about us being together at the Delaney party is true. Then around, about 10 o'clock, George and I slipped away down to the pool house. We were inside.
It's okay. I read a lot of poetry.
All of a sudden, we heard some arguments outside, and someone said something about a memo, and that he knew about November 13th, and then someone attacked him. The first guy.
What do you mean attacked? Who attacked? There were a lot of people, or one or two, or you don't know? You just heard voices.
Hard to tell.
Did you see any of them?
No. Well, George did.
I see.
Anyway, we ran, and we got separated, and I got away and went home. They caught George, but somehow he was able to call me, and he said to run and don't go to the police. He said they own the police.
That's all?
Well, I just got out of my place in time. And this morning, George's body was found in my apartment, and I'm wanted for murder. That's all I know.
One thing I don't understand, last night, after you left your apartment, where were you between then and now this morning?
In the ladies' room.
You were in the ladies' room here all night?
I was very cold.
You said the 13th, November 13th? That's only a few days away.
Does that mean something to you?
Well, it makes some people nervous if it falls on Friday. I usually got much snappier material. I'm just not cooking yet this morning. Marcia, prepare one of our standard Michael Brem contracts for Mary Kingston, please.
Oh, wait, no, I don't want anyone else involved.
Wait a minute. You don't understand. Michael Brem is the attorney across the hall. You're going to be his client, and then I'm going to work for him. Follow? That way the cops stay out of my tree, and then anything you and I say to each other is privileged information.
You're not going to try and get me to go to the police?
You kidding? As soon as she's got that typed up, I'm going to find some place to hide you. whole box of these seals in the car. We'll put one on when you leave.
This isn't your house?
What, are you kidding? Belongs to an ex-client of mine. He gave me the key.
Where is he?
He's in the cooler, waiting for trial.
In jail?
Look, you can't be 100% effective. You win a few, you lose a few. Cops have finished their investigation. They turned the case over to the DA's office. They sealed up the place until after the trial. They won't be back, and I got a key.
Well, I suppose you know what you're doing.
I can't help you. I gotta get my sheet proof. This rag goes to bed in 40 minutes.
Jerry, just give me what you got on George Donaldson's homicide.
He wants to strike the opening paragraph. He said, headline at Pulitzer Prize winner disappears.
What? Hey, Norm, what's going on? What? Listen, I got a great story hinting at foul play. Oh, Mr. Crossman's wrong. So he's friends with Harold Delaney. So what? Okay. Okay! Change the title.
What about the
Who's
first
missing,
paragraph?
Jerry?
Delete the
What's
first 3 sentences
Jerry,
and all
Jerry,
references
wait a
to
minute,
foul
will you talk
play.
to me?
Now, you go ahead
Jerry,
and take
what's
care of
good?
that,
Who's
Nancy, will you?
Wait,
I want to
what's
see
it got
you
to do
get
with Harold
through.
Delaney? Jerry!
Alex Sebastian didn't show up today. So Crossman sends a guy out to his house. Some of his stuff is missing, like, you know, shaving equipment, stuff like that. They find his car at the train station.
Well, maybe he took a trip.
Oh, yeah? Then why would the cops show up at his house and seal it off for investigation?
Wait a minute. Was Alex Sebastian at that party at Delaney's last night?
Yes.
Have you heard from him since?
No.
Do you have any idea what might have happened to him?
No. I don't. And, I'm very worried. When I came in here this morning, there were things about the office that seemed very strange.
Oh? Not very tidy, is he?
No, he isn't. And if I touch anything, he screams.
You know, it looks like to me somebody went through here with a hoe.
Listen, are you sure that Mr. Crossman hired you?
We already went through that, didn't we?
Yeah. I guess we did, didn't we? Look, I have to talk to somebody. This morning, when I came in here, I had the feeling that this office had been searched.
How would you ever know?
He's been doing an editorial for the Atlantic Monthly. All these papers are out of order. I think that somebody came in here and searched this office very carefully and then tried to make it look as if it hadn't been searched.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a key to Sebastian's house?
Yes.
Well, look what the cat dragged in.
This is Lieutenant Quint, and that's just about as clever as he gets.
Ex-Minister, you better not be messing police business.
Oh, Lieutenant, I gave up prying into coin boxes when I heard you were doing it. I'm just down here checking on my paper route.
Jake, I want you to drop up to the office one of these days. We'll have a little chat. I want to teach you how to say please and thank you. I don't know why I didn't think of it before.
Would you mind waiting for me outside? The reason you didn't think of it before was because you don't know your butt from a bucket of ice cream, and you'd trip on your IQ if you weren't standing on it.
What are we going to do now?
Break in the place.
Don't you get in a lot of trouble?
Almost never. Let me have the key. That was a formal party last night, right?
Yes, why?
Did Alex have a dinner jacket? Huh?
Yes.
Did he dictate anything to you in the last few days? Anything that was important, significant, maybe something even explosive? Something that had to do with the 13th of this month?
Who are you? Mr. Crossman didn't hire you.
That's right, he didn't.
But you said...
I never said anything like that.
I want you out of this house right now.
Now, just hold on, please,
This
lady.
instant.
Calm down. Let me explain something to you.
I'm gonna call the police if you don't get out of here.
Just hold down a second, will
Right
you?
now.
Now, I think there's a possibility that Alex Sebastian is
Right
dead.
now.
You follow? Now, somebody went through his office, and somebody has searched this house. Now, what I gotta have from you is a little help.
He's not dead. Alex isn't dead.
Well, wait a minute. There's no dinner jacket in that closet, and they found his car at Union Station. A guy doesn't go around riding a train in a dinner jacket. Now, I got a client who's interested in finding out whether Alex Sebastian is okay. Now, he might be alive, but we can't overlook the possibility that he's dead. If he is, I want to find out who killed him. You understand? Huh?
No! 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 He's not dead! He's not! Ah!
My nose is bleeding. Hey, look, I just said there was a possibility he was dead. I didn't kill him myself. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were in love with him.
I never told him. Oh, he was a magnificent man. He was...
Please, we don't have to talk about him in the past tense. Here. Here.
Thank you.
You never did answer my question about that memo.
Oh. He told me about it, but I didn't type it. I don't know anything about it.
Did Alex have a drop box anywhere?
Yeah, he has the drop box on 6th Street.
Alex, I have read your notes and agree. I have been checking and turned up something else of interest. This is even more serious than either of us suspected.
Signed S.B. Hello, operator. Yeah, get me the information operator in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, please, for a General Smedley Butler.
Half sheet of 3s and envelopes.
Hello, General Butler?
Yes?
This is Mr. Danton, Alex Sebastian's research assistant. He asked me to call you to see.
I beg your pardon. Who's assistant?
Alex Sebastian. He received your letter in the post office box, and he wanted to know whether or not you'd be good enough to send along the other information you dug up, in care of his secretary, Miss Taylor.
I haven't got the faintest idea what you're talking about. I don't know Alex Sebastian. I know who he is, of course, but I've never met him. What did you say your name was?
Danton, Jake Danton, just like it sounds. D-A-N-T-O-N. I'm sure he must have mentioned me.
My good man, I assure you, I do not know Alex Sebastian. I also have never heard of you.
Alex told me that he was going to see General Butler and he would not lie. Now, why would he lie?
Why don't you go along to the car? I'll be with you in a minute.
But
There's something I want to check into. Excuse me. You work for Lieutenant Quint, don't you?
I'm sorry, what?
You see, the reason I know is that only Lieutenant Quint would be dumb enough to hire a guy like you to stand here licking and addressing empty envelopes.
I beg your pardon?
Well, this is empty. See? They're all empty. Now, you go back and tell Lieutenant Quint that I said he's an intellectual starvation area. And tell him that I said you were a moron. You think you can keep that straight? By the way, you got too many stamps on this one, genius.
Mr. McGillicuddy. What has this got to do with the guest list of my party?
Well, sir, it occurred to me, and I mean no disrespect here, Mr. Delaney, absolutely none at all. It just occurred to me that it's very possible that one of your guests might have known what happened to him.
One of my guests?
Yes, sir.
What the hell kind of an accusation is that?
Well, as I said, sir, I meant no disrespect. Now, what we call in the investigating business a shot in the dark, and it probably won't amount to anything at all. But isn't it possible that one of your guests might have disagreed politically with Alex Sebastian and his point of view?
That's a possibility. Roosevelt is on the verge of ruining the economic system in this country. Sebastian is supporting his policies. For that, he may be labeled a misguided soul. I don't think anybody would commit foul play for that reason alone.
I would know, sir. I'm not very political.
And you're a fool.
Well, you'll forgive me. I sort of like to think of myself in more polite terms. I mean, after all, you and I just met, and you don't know whether I'm a fool or not. Now, what I was wondering was, Mr. Delaney, is whether or not you'd let me take a look at that guest list.
Hoffman and Bates, you say?
Yes, sir.
Which one of their clients are you working for?
Well, sir, we're not supposed to say. It's confidential, so to speak.
So is my guest list.
Yes, sir. Well, seeing how as it's you, Mr. Delaney, maybe I could make an exception. You see, we are working for Mrs. Sebastian. Now, she's very concerned about the estate. In case Mr. Sebastian, you know, passed away, well, it's awkward to put into words, but she would stand to inherit an awful lot of money.
Get out of here.
What?
Mrs. Sebastian is my wife's second cousin. She's independently wealthy. Sebastian doesn't have enough money to spit on.
I wonder how I got that so mixed up.
I haven't the faintest idea. Now, you're going to leave quickly, or do I throw you out?
Well, sir, I kind of respond to a challenge like that. Are you sure you don't want to rephrase it?
Of course, I didn't mean it personally. Charles!
Well, sir, in that case, I'll just be moving along.
Go through and find out who he is, then make sure he finds his way all the way out.
I think I can manage from here okay.
Empty your pockets. Open the glove compartment in the trunk.
Now, look, Charles, I like you a lot. It's not your fault you're stupid, so I'm going to show you what I got in my pockets. But I got a strict policy about letting animals into my car.
If you have blown this thing open for us...
Now, that's enough. You assured me of complete security in this operation. So I suggest that you find out who that man is and for whom he works immediately.
Well, let's not jump to any conclusions, General. Sebastian was a popular man. He had a lot of friends. Maybe one of them hired a private investigator to find out what happened to Sebastian. And nobody's gonna find that out. So we haven't got anything to worry about.
I will not have the danger of this minimized. I want to know. Can't you understand? We have to know beyond the slightest doubt that that man can't compromise us. Otherwise, let me assure you of this. I'll do everything in my power to protect myself. And I'll remind each of you, gentlemen, that there's less than 1 week left until the 13th.
You had to tell him about it, didn't you? He was skittish enough as it was.
Perhaps we should delay everything. The General pulls out now.
He won't. We'll find this guy, wherever he is, and we'll do what's necessary. We'll find him if I have to put the whole damn police force to work on it.
Mary, I gotta level with you. I think we're in over our heads. We got a Pulitzer Prize winner who's missing. And Harold Delaney, who happens to own half the town, has got a 2-star general as his house guest. Now, he probably knows what happened to Alex Sebastian, but he sure as hell isn't gonna tell me. That's all I got, kid, and I don't think I'm gonna get any more. I could stay involved, but my instincts are telling me to skate it.
Are you telling me I should just go to the police?
What, are you kidding? Police work for guys like Delaney and his friends, not for people like you and me.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
I got a friend's got a tuna boat. I could hock your jewelry, split the cash between you and him, he'll get you into Mexico.
Are you serious?
A lot better than death row.
I asked for your help and you tell me to leave the country. Oh, you're a winner.
That's fine. Get mad at me. I had a wonderful day myself. I was attacked by a hysterical secretary, shot at by some overeager goons. I lost my car and a $6 Cordovan shoe. Look, Mary, I'm sorry. If I thought I could help, I'd take a hack at it. But I got a feeling this thing's just too big. I think you ought to go south.
What are you, Jake? You act like all that's important is surviving. You're more than a survivor, aren't you?
Forget about me. Survivor's a guy who just hangs on. A guy's not having any fun.
You enjoy it?
You bet. Every now and then I can steal a little meat right out from under the lion's paw. Hey, listen. They call L.A. the city of the angels. Well, let me tell you something. All the angels left this burg about 20 years ago. It's crooked and corrupt, and it suits me fine.
You don't give a damn about anybody but Jake Axminster. You lie, cheat, steal, and if someone pushes you, you just push them back a little harder, huh?
So hard they'll never forget it.
It doesn't have to be that way, Jake.
Well, you may decide that in your own mind, Mary, but that's the way it is out in the street. Take the boat. Get the hell out. The game is rigged, and you're the patsy. I'll call right now and set it up for you.
Listen, I can't talk now. I've got a line cooking. Just remember, Mr. David at 2:30, right? Gotta go. Bye. Oxford 8704.
Hi, it's me.
Ah, I'm gonna faint with pleasure.
Okay, Marcia, you're a real comedian. I'm gonna book you with Major Buzz. Now listen, I want you to call Tony Manzo and see if he's still running that tuna boat. If the bank hasn't gotten it yet, ask him to call me. Tell him I might have a job for him.
Okay, but listen, forget Major Bowles. Just tell Harry Kahn.
Sure, next time I see him.
Which will be at exactly 4:30 this afternoon. He called and he wants to see you.
Harry Kahn of Superior Pictures wants to see me?
And remember, tell him what a great comedian I am, lover.
Yeah, sure.
You know, nothing goes on in this town I don't hear about. For instance, we got a broad under contract here. Her name is Mary Kingston.
So?
Don't tell me you never heard of her. She's been on all the front pages. She's wanted for the murder of that actor named Donaldson.
Yeah, I read about that.
Read it? You don't have to read about it. You're working for her.
That makes me think that maybe you think she's not guilty of something, huh?
I never met the lady.
Knock it off, huh? Hey, I tell you what, I'm gonna make you a very nice proposition. She's had a lot of good press coast to coast. I think maybe I can help her get out of this trouble, and then she'd be worth something to the studio. Then I throw her in a movie, and we all make a few dollars.
Well, don't get so sentimental about it.
Hey, business is business. Personally, I don't remember the broad too good. I know we had a tester, but, you know, I can't find the damn film. Yeah, but I'm willing to bet that everybody's gonna want to see her after this cools down. So why don't you tell me where she is so I can talk to her, and then I'll give you $2,500.
That's a lot of money. But I don't know where she is.
5,000.
Can't help you.
All right. $10,000. But this is going to cease to be a good business proposition and goes beyond that. So 10 grand, that's my limit.
Mr. Khan, you don't hear so good.
Hey, I just want to help her. Who you think you're dealing with here?
I don't like your movies, and I don't like your mouth. Now, you sweeten up, or I'm gonna bounce you around every wall in this room. And it's a big room.
See, Lieutenant, you was wrong about him. He didn't know nothing about that broad. I get a feeling for a guy the minute I see him. If he'd have known anything, he would have jumped at the dough. His kind always does. He was even too dumb to lie about it.
Then I got a problem.
On your own time. And you owe me one.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, tough guy. How's that, huh? Tough guy?
Let me get dressed, will you?
You look just fine.
So you found the car, huh, Quint? You've been a busy boy today, Jake. Poking your nose in where you don't belong. So when Mr. Delaney calls and complains, I figure it's time to have you in and chip a few teeth. Ah! How do you like that, pussycat? You want to get smart mouth with me now? Go ahead. Thump me again. Have you, moron? I just got a physical.
Wait a minute, Lieutenant, wait a minute. You had a physical, huh?
There's a copy of it on my lawyer's desk. I can prove that I came in here unmarked and healthy. Now go ahead, mess me around, huh? I'll have a picture of me on the front page of the Daily News with that medical report right alongside of it.
What do you think, Lieutenant? I don't think the chief is gonna like this kind of beef now.
I think he's lying. Oh, yeah? I'll call my doctor. His name's Reuben Zager. Go ahead, call him. He's in the phone book. I'm betting you didn't have no physical. Then I'm going to arrange it for you to walk funny the rest of your life. Just like you, Lieutenant. You've been walking crooked for the last 20 years.
Easy, Lieutenant, easy! Easy!
Hey, I need a ride.
Sorry, Lieutenant. Quint just said to toss you out. He doesn't like you, mister.
That breaks my heart. Yeah.
Mr. Axminster?
Evening, officer.
Want to ride home?
Why?
We want to talk to you.
What for?
You mind getting in the car, sir?
Sure, why not? You guys taking me back for round 2?
Taking you home.
If Quint finds out you guys gave me a lift, you're gonna be directing traffic. That is, unless, of course, he set it up so that I would talk to you, huh?
Quint's a chump. Somebody put the slug on Quint tonight, but we didn't see who it was.
What do you guys want?
We don't think Mary Kingston killed George Donaldson.
Mary Kingston? I tried to call you. You didn't answer.
I was walking on the beach.
Yeah, well, the next time you go for a walk on the beach, take the phone off the hook so I know you're here. I thought they found you.
I thought we decided that...
Wait a minute. Forget about the tuna boat. I think I'm onto something.
That's wonderful. What?
Well, I don't have time to tell you everything, but 2 cops named Murdoch and Parker think you were being framed by Lieutenant Quint.
Really?
Maybe, maybe not. They could be lying. I don't completely trust them.
You gotta trust somebody, Jake. I'm trusting you.
That's your mistake, honey. I only trust myself.
Hey, Jake!
Yeah?
I like you.
What?
I know you're afraid of this. It's big and dangerous. But you're sticking with it, and I like you for it. You're blunt, but I think you're honest with yourself. And you don't stand in familiar corners and say familiar things. And your secretary runs an answering service for call girls. That's very refreshing.
Are you trying to pull my leg?
Quit boiling over, Jake. I'm just trying to say thank you.
I'm not boiling over.
Quit looking for an angle. I'd like it if you'd stay tonight.
Thanks a lot. Seeing as how it's my place and not yours.
I just meant I'd like it. You don't have to stay.
I'd like it too.
There's a Mrs. Sebastian here to see you, sir.
Mrs. Sebastian? Are you sure?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sure.
Send her in.
Mr. Axminster?
Yes. Mrs. Sebastian?
Yes.
Come on in. Sit down. Oh, the depression's been hard on everyone, Mrs. Sebastian. Most of us, that is. What can I do for you?
Well, I've been up north all week, Mr. Axminster, at a hunting lodge with friends. Yesterday afternoon, I heard about Alex. So I had a friend drive me right down, and I arrived late last night.
Here. It, must have been quite a shock. I mean, not knowing whether or not Mr. Sebastian is dead or alive.
Well, I won't pretend that I'm still in love with my husband. That would be far too hypocritical of me. He was a brilliant man, and if he decided to be married to me instead of his career, I might still be living with him.
Well, why'd you come to see me?
I understand you know where my husband is.
Who told you that?
A little bird.
Well, if I were you, I'd go get that little bird drunk and ask him why he's lying.
All right, my cousin Harold Delaney told me.
Oh, that's a very good reference.
I thought maybe if you were looking for my husband, you might know something. I'd be willing to buy whatever information you may have.
Well, I appreciate that, Mrs. Sebastian, and believe me, I'd like to take a couple of bucks off of you, but the case just didn't turn out too well for me. As a matter of fact, after last night, I've decided to withdraw for health reasons.
Oh, I see. I'm curious as to who hired you. Is that information for sale? I'm a very rich woman.
Well, I could sell it to you. But then I'd have to go in another line of work, and I don't know another line of work.
Well, a friend is waiting for me downstairs to take me directly to the train station. I have to be in Chicago a few days. So I go on to the train. And if you should turn up any more information or want to take me up on my offer, please leave a message for me at my home here.
Well, Mrs. Sebastian, I don't think I am going to turn up anything. You see, I'm going to leave town for a few days. Trouble with the local authorities.
Well, I thank you for being so frank. Wouldn't have been any trouble at all for you to fabricate some knowledge of Alex, for which I would have paid gladly.
You don't understand. This is a word-of-mouth business, and who knows? Maybe someday you'll want me to John somebody for you.
Thank you.
Have a good trip.
Got me on the shin bone. What are you, crazy or something?
How did you find me?
Ooh, it really hurts.
Well, you had your foot in the door.
Never mind about that.
What are you doing?
$100.
Give
Did
me-
they give you this?
Give me that and get out of here.
Wait a minute, lady. You're dealing with an emotionally disturbed man. I could go tapioca any minute. Hang you up in the shower by your garter belt. That's right. You got that? I'm a fruitcake. You gotta be very careful when you're dealing with a fruitcake. Now, you can smile nervously. You can even sweat a little. But that's it. Now, you ready? I'm ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
Who hired you?
Look, if I told you that, mister, I could be in a lot of trouble. I mean, you've got some big enemies. They might beat me up or worse. They were very specific about that.
The guy who hired you, was he crazy?
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Well, I'm crazy. I'm certifiable. Look, Miss Archer, sometimes I do things I can't even remember. Don't mess with me, Miss Archer. I'm a nutso killer. Now, where were we, huh?
Look, honestly, mister, I'd like to help you, but honestly, I don't know what's going on. That's the truth. See, they contacted me through my agent, and they said I had a little job for me. So a man named Fred came to the agent's office with wardrobe and everything. Told me what to say, and then they gave me your address.
Didn't it occur to you they weren't on the up and up?
Look, mister, it's been a long time since I've had any work. I've been on a strict diet, and I've been starving myself to keep my weight down. My agent wants to dump me. Well, I needed that $100 bad. What do you want from me anyway?
What'd they ask you to get out of me?
Anything I could, especially who you were working for. They said they'd be willing to pay for that.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Axminster. You won't tell them I told you, will you?
Now, look, Miss Archer, I may be crazy, but I'm not stupid.
I'm sorry.
Really?
Really?
How sorry?
Very sorry. I'd like to make it up to you.
There's a way.
Name it.
Split the 100 with me.
Huh?
That's what I figured.
Thanks for dropping by.
What are you doing out there? Waiting for the milkman. Now listen, I got some photographs here. I want you to get these developed for me.
You wake me up in the middle of the night to get snapshots developed? Listen, I gotta get up first thing.
Mike,
I've got
will you
clients
listen to
all
me?
day long.
Will
I
you
got
wait a
a
second?
day
Will
that's
you-
a night.
Mike, listen to me. I'm in trouble. Now, sit down. Look, I just came from the valley. I saw something out there that scared the hell out of me. I want to be sure that the guy that runs these through the soup is a guy we can trust. The guy that we used on the insurance company case. Get him. He's fast. I gotta have these things tomorrow.
I'm gonna be in court all day tomorrow.
Well, what's the matter with that? I can meet you down at the courthouse. That's as safe a place as any. I'll tell you what, I'll be there at lunchtime.
Safe a place as any. Look, how hot are you?
I'm so hot you could fry an egg on me. That's why I'm staying away from the office and the house. Listen, if anybody asks, you just tell them I went on a long vacation.
Would you mind telling me what I'm getting involved in?
I got a client facing a murder one. It's that girl, Mary Kingston.
You mean that starlet that's all over the papers?
That's right, that's the one. Now, I got her stashed till I can find out why Lieutenant Quint is trying to frame her.
Who's Quint taking his orders from this time?
Well, from Jim Davis, of course. But I think Jim Davis is getting them from much higher up. Maybe Harold Delaney, or maybe somebody else on that level.
Harold Delaney. You better keep your head down.
Mike, for that, you went to law school?
Good advice doesn't always have to be complicated, Jake.
Yeah. Well, listen, you just get those things developed for me, will you? I might want you to peg a few faces that I don't recognize. I'll see you tomorrow. Are you all right? Huh?
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right, look, I'm going out the back door. I'll see you tomorrow. Mike, what's going on? Who is that guy?
He's a friend of mine. You can trust him. That gun he's wearing makes me feel a lot safer after what happened last night. Now, look, let's make this fast, Jake. I got a drunken disorderly in Judge Skinner's courtroom in 10 minutes.
I just want you to identify some of the characters in those pictures, then I'll let you go.
All right.
Hey, these came out pretty good, didn't they?
Yeah.
This guy right here. That's Noel Crossman Sr., the owner of the Post-Dispatch, right? What about him, though?
You don't know who that is? That's his son. He's the publisher of the Post-Dispatch. Noel Crossman, Jr.
The guy that ran for the Senate last year?
Thank God the public found out he was a touch too conservative.
What about this guy, the guy in the middle?
I don't know. Jake, what are they doing?
If I really knew, I'd tell you. Now, that's Delaney. I know him, and that's Crossman Jr., but, take a look at this. Think that could belong to the ramrod here?
A two-star general.
That's what it looks like to me. Could that be Smedley Butler, huh?
Yeah, it could be Smedley Butler.
Could you have that blown up so we could be absolutely sure?
Yeah?
Mike, do you know anything about the 13th of this month?
Yeah, it's, falls on a Tuesday, about 3 days from now, roughly the middle of the month. Some people think it's an unlucky day, so some people think it's an unlucky number.
Very good. You're a stitch this morning.
I just don't get shot at as often as you do. As your lawyer and as your friend, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you know what you're doing? Do you know that Noel Crossman Jr. is the man who had Jim Davis put into office as chief of police?
Yeah, and everybody else in City Hall. So what?
Let's suppose, for the sake of argument, that Crossman Jr. had something to do with this murder case of yours. You can't go after a man like that in this town. He'll roll over in his sleep and leave you dead.
Mike, what do you want me to do?
I'm trying to tell you that you need help. More help than I can give you.
Terrific. I'll write my congressman.
No. There's a friend of mine. I want you to talk to him. His name is Wayne Fisher. He's the foreman of the new grand jury.
Wonderful. Look, as far as I'm concerned, it's just another grand jury. Why should I trust him?
Listen to me. Wayne Fisher is on the level. He's really going to try to do something about City Hall. He's got lots of money, and he's not for sale. He may be one of the few people in this town who you can trust to really go after Delaney, Crossman, and the Post-Dispatch, and he's got the power to do it.
Thanks for the advice.
Are you going to talk to him?
Mike, what am I going to tell him? What am I going to do? Show him those pictures? Huh? You know what they'll say? They'll say those guys are out there practicing for the Rose Parade or something. I mean, look. Even if my hunch was right, and I thought that Crossman Jr. was involved somehow in Sebastian's murder, I couldn't prove it. And if I could prove it, I couldn't pin it on him.
Now, wait a minute, Jake. Alex Sebastian is dead?
Mike, I don't even know that. Look, when it's all over, I'll send you a postcard.
Now, where are you going?
I'm going to break in Noel Crossman's office.
Can I hear it again?
Yeah, sure. Go.
We would be anxious to handle the advertising for your store. However, our editorial policies are our own.
It's him. I'm sure, absolutely.
There's no chance you could be mistaken.
Now, I recognized his voice the first time I heard it. I just wanted to hear it again to be sure. Jake, I'm sure that's the same man.
That means that Noel Crossman Jr. knocked off Alex Sebastian. George Donaldson witnessed it. They dumped his body in your apartment. That's why they fingered you for the murder. Now, did you hear anything that night about an American Legion meeting?
No, why?
Because there's one on the 13th.
What does the American Legion have to do with this?
How the hell do I know?
Well, you don't have to get mad at me.
I'm not mad at you.
Well, where are you going?
I don't know where I'm
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, Jake.
I know what time it is. Just trying to think.
Hey, see...
Hey, if Noel Crossman Jr. was quarreling, and if he doesn't know where that memo... Hey, I got it. The key to this thing is the memo. That's it. That's it.
Where are you going?
I'm going to get some sleep. Anybody ever tell you how great you look early in the morning?
No.
Yeah.
There are cops crawling all over this place like flies on honey. I wouldn't come around here if I were you.
Thanks, kid.
Oh, and Mike called. He wanted to know if you could meet him sometime today, like around noon.
All right, tell him if he'll come out to the beach, I'll meet him down by the rocks where we used to go fishing.
Right.
Must have been a vice raid last night, huh?
Oh, yeah? Why do you say that?
Well, you didn't have me on hold for half the conversation.
They aren't all hookers, Jake.
Name 3 who aren't.
Well...
Somebody broke into my office last night and took my dictaphone machine. I hope it was you.
Mike, I used my key. I didn't break anything.
Why didn't you leave me a note?
Is that what you came out here to talk to me about?
No. Jake, it's not Smedley Butler. I'm pretty sure it's General Douglas Winfield.
Winfield?
He arrived here the night of Delaney's party. I got that from a friend.
How can you tell? The face isn't too clear.
Jake, it's not Butler. Butler left Washington 3 days ago on the train to come out here. If he changed to the SP in Chicago, he wouldn't even arrive here until tonight.
So what's one more, General, more or less? If he can't stay at Delaney's, he can always sleep on the floor at my place.
Jake, I checked into Butler for you. He's the tops. He's got guts and he's honest. There's a few million ex-soldiers in this country that'd go through hell for him. He's his own man.
So is Mussolini.
Yeah, so is Mussolini. Remember, I asked you about meeting Wayne Fisher?
The guy from the grand jury?
Yeah.
Yeah? What made you change your mind?
I didn't change my mind. It's right here.
Oh, Mike. Why?
This. Jake, you're in over your head. Now, you can talk to this man or not. It's up to you. But if you're too dumb not to know when you need help, then go and get yourself killed for all I care.
Wayne Fisher. Now, wait a minute. Before you say anything at all, I think it's only fair to tell you that your friend Mike Brim is not the first person to talk about you. A cop by the name of Bill Parker gave me your name a couple of days ago and said you might want to get in touch.
Made me feel like I'm on a blind date.
Well, I give you my word, unless you tell me otherwise, that this meeting never took place.
Hey, wait a minute. What's so different about your word?
I just want to tell you about our new grand jury. We happen to be independent of the present city administration, and we plan to stay that way.
I give you a 21-gun salute for good intentions, but personally, I'm not a crusader.
I understand you're after Noel Crossman, Jr.
You understand wrong.
Look, if there's anything I can do to help you, I mean anything, I hope you call on me.
Okay. Maybe there is something you can do. Mike says you're straight, and I'm gonna take a chance with you. Now, I got a client who's in deep trouble, and I want to know when all this is over that my client is gonna get a fair shake.
You got yourself a deal. Here's my number. I'll stay by that phone till I hear from you.
All right, Fisher. General Butler? General, sir, I'm Corporal Axminster. I was with you in the French campaign, sir.
General, we've got several appointments this evening.
No, that's okay. So, you were with me in France, huh, son?
Yes, sir. I got hit at Belleau Wood, sir.
General, we really must get going.
Why don't you go on to the car, and I'll be right along. Come on, son.
Very well, sir.
How are things going with you, son? I hope your wound doesn't give you too much trouble.
Hardly any. Listen, General.
Do you have a job? I know that depression makes it awfully tough, but then it can't last forever.
General, please. Sir, I'm the guy who called you about Alex Sebastian. You remember?
Oh, well, I'm afraid that I
General,
can't.
he's dead. Somebody killed him. They've been looking for his notes, some kind of a memo. I'm taking a chance on you, General. Will you hear me out?
All right.
General, what's going on there?
That's Winnie.
Who, sir?
General Winfield. He's supposed to be down in Fort Monroe, Virginia.
Sir, does the 13th mean anything to you?
Who told you about that?
Well, nobody, sir. It doesn't mean much to me, but it means an awful lot to the people in those pictures.
I can't believe that Winnie would get involved.
Involved in what, sir? General, I know there's an American Legion meeting here in Los Angeles on the 13th of this month. And it's rumored that Roosevelt, President Roosevelt, is going to make an appearance at that meeting.
Who told you that?
Well, I don't have a byline on the story, sir, but it comes from a very reliable source. General, I'm not sure what's going on here, sir, but something is in the works. Now, it involves a general who is supposed to be in Virginia. It involves some of the most wealthy, powerful people in this state, one of whom owns a very large newspaper and whose father was just killed in an auto-gyro accident. It also involves the American Legion meeting on the 13th, and it involves a Pulitzer Prize winner named Alex Sebastian, and he's dead. That brings me to you, General.
I see. And what is my involvement?
Well, sir, I know that you spent time with Alex Sebastian in Philadelphia last week. Now, you can deny it, General, but I know it's true. When Alex Sebastian got back here, he wrote some kind of a memo that got all these people very upset. And suddenly, he's dead. Now, I didn't imagine all this, General. These are the facts. Now, I don't have them arranged in any kind of a pattern, but there's something sure the hell going on here.
If I told you that there is a conspiracy going on right now in this country to seize control of the White House, would you believe me?
Are you telling me that's what's going on here?
Here? I don't know for sure. I was approached 2 months ago by some of the most powerful men on the East Coast. They offered to finance a paramilitary army if I would lead it. I refused. And then I decided to keep silent about it until I had more to work on. I want to keep these pictures.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Thank you. I came here to address the Legion. I'll have to cancel out those plans. I'm going to fly right back to Washington, and I want you to come with me.
Well, I'd like to, sir, but, see, I've got a client here that I've got to clear of a murder rap.
Oh. Then I'd like to give you some advice. Young man, you be terribly careful for the next few days.
General, I'm so careful I got special insurance rates. I hope everything goes well for you in Washington, sir. Thank you very much. Listen, I told Mike to tell you behind the fountain, not out here where all the world can see you.
What is this all about? I'm getting phone calls from people I don't even know talking about some kind of conspiracy.
Will you get down?
Who is Michael Brim, and why are you having me meet you out here in the middle of a park?
Have you ever heard of a telephone tap? Well, this burg is full of them. Now, I'm trying to keep you safe.
What are you doing? Please tell me.
I need one more favor from you.
You can go to hell.
Please.
You've been using me because of my feelings for Alex, and you have lied to me.
That's right. I did lie, because I was trying to help to find Alex.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's no more reason to help to find Alex, because Alex is dead. Now, I want you to help me get the man who did it. That's what I want.
Who killed him?
Noel Crossman, Jr.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure, but I'm willing to risk my tail to prove it. But I can't do it without you. Please don't pull out on me now, otherwise I'll spend the rest of my life in South America.
No.
Okay, have it your way. They'll dig up Alex Sebastian's body 20 years from now, and they'll be able to identify it by his dental records.
You're a very remarkable man, and I don't mean that in a positive sense.
Will you help me?
I'd like to know who you're working for. I mean, it doesn't really matter anymore, but I'd really like to know.
All right, I'll tell you. That girl whose picture's on the front page of the paper, Mary Kingston.
You know, I don't believe you.
Then why did you ask? Now, I think Noah Crossman had that body dumped in her apartment. Move over. You're late.
What? How did you get in here?
I'm resourceful.
Well, let me be very frank with you, Mr. Axminster. I'm a journalist. I have an instinct for news. That's the reason I agreed to meet you down here tonight. I'm not familiar with this memo, but of course if Alex Sebastian wrote it, then there must be a story in it.
What is this, a gag? Some kind of a joke? I'm supposed to laugh?
If I pick up this telephone, in 2 minutes you'll be arrested. There are warrants out against you.
No kidding. Listen, I talked to Alex Sebastian's secretary the morning he disappeared. She took me out to his house.
I'll check on that.
Oh, I want you to. I got rid of her and I found the memo. I've got the memo. You know something? Nobody ever looks in a garage. Even the cops don't look. People hide things in their garage. That's why I looked. And that's where I found the memo.
All right. Let's say I am interested.
Let's.
Because I'm a journalist and because Alex Sebastian was a Pulitzer Prize winner. I assume you've read this memo?
Cover to cover.
What's it about?
Hey, come on, you know what it's about. The American Legion meeting on the 13th. General Winfield, and that armory you've got out in the valley. You want more?
Let me see it.
Hey, I didn't bring it here with me. I came here to sell it to you.
It is not our policy to buy news stories.
Hey, listen, let me lay it out for you. What I got could put you and your friends away for a long time. Hey, you should be nice to me. I want you to make an investment in my future.
This is preposterous.
Of course, that's the way blackmail works.
Just exactly what do you have in mind?
A down payment of $25,000? Don't laugh. That's just the beginning. That gets you one copy of the memo. After that, I expect a retainer, say $5,000 a month.
You really expect me to agree to this?
I don't expect it, Mr. Crossman. I'm telling you, I read the memo. I think you're going to pay whatever price I ask.
I'll have to see the memo first.
No. I see the money first.
It'll take me some time to raise that amount of money.
Come on, Mr. Crossman, you're a rich man. I give you an hour. I'll even let you bring the money to my place.
What's the address?
930 Van Ness. Pleasure doing business with you.
Terry, I want you to find Sebastian's secretary, Laura Taylor. I don't care where she is. You find her and you get her to this office fast. Now, I don't want you to worry about anything. All I want to know is this. Did he say anything to you about a memo that Alex may have written?
Yes, he did.
And what did you tell him?
Well, I didn't think it was any of his business, even if he was working for Mr. Crossman Sr. So I didn't tell him about the phone call, if that's what you mean.
Phone call? What phone call?
From Alex, the night of the Delaney party. Well, he phoned me and he asked me if I'd wait up for him, that he would stop by my house afterwards. He said that he had something very, very important for me to type up for him. I waited for him, but he never did come by.
Why didn't you tell me about this phone call before?
Well, I'm sorry. It's just that everything has been so terrible since Alex went away without any word or anything. I've been very worried about him.
I don't want you to be worried about anything. Everything is fine. You've been a very big help to me. You won't mind going home in a cab, will you?
Oh, not at all. Not at all, Mr. Crossman.
Terry, give Miss Taylor cab fare home, please.
I hope that I have really been of some help.
Yes, you have.
Oh, Oh, no. Look, this is too much. I don't
You
want...
just take that. You go right home.
Fine.
Come in here. Close the door. When you took Sebastian away, did you go through his pockets before you buried him?
No, why?
Because I have been killing myself looking for that memo. And do you know where it is?
In his pocket? Look, Mr. Crossman.
Shut up. Shut up! Now you call Stan, and you tell him to meet us in the valley. Now!
May I help you, sir?
Yes, I'm kind of lost. I was coming down this road here, and I took a wrong turn, and I was trying to find a sheriff's station that's over in there somewhere.
Look in his shoes.
What are you guys looking for? Not the memo. Hey, wait a minute. Ivy League guys with guns? Come on, put those away. I got the memo. You don't want anything to happen to me.
Keep him covered. How did you get here?
I followed you in the car. I was waiting outside the building after our meeting. I tagged along. You know something? I wanted to trust you. $25,000 is a lot of money. And you had to go and disappoint me. Alex Sebastian, right?
Mr. Crossman.
Search him.
Over by the car.
Undo your vest. Wait a minute. What's the matter with you guys? You think I'm crazy or something? I don't have the memo on me. My lawyer has it. If I don't show, he knows exactly what to do with it.
Take off your shoes.
What?
I'd do exactly as he says if I were you, Mr. Axminster.
I guess you realize the price is going to have to go up if you want me to keep quiet about the, say, $50,000.
You know what I think about you. I think you're running a bluff.
Don't make another mistake.
You never had any memo. You were nosing around asking questions about Sebastian's disappearance. And then you had a bright idea. And you set this whole thing up with his secretary.
Do I read tea leaves? Do I know you got a body out here, huh?
All right. Terry?
Hey, you kill me and that thing goes public. My lawyer will publish it if I don't show.
All right. Hold it, hold it. Put your shoes on.
We got a deal?
Yes, we have a deal. Now, where is that memo?
Don't move! Drop your guns, stay where you are. Right there! Drop.
You men are under arrest.
Ed, are you all right?
What the hell's the matter with you? What are you waiting for?
We couldn't make a move until we heard enough to be able to take in front of a grand jury.
You want to be an eyewitness to a murder, huh? You wanted to wait till somebody shot me right in front of your eyes. Is that what you wanted? You want to help somebody? Buy me a new pair of shoes.
Hold it there. Please, Mr. Khan. One more minute. What about interview? Come on, Miss Kingston. One more.
Could we have a statement, Mr. Kern?
Oh, yes. I want you fellas to know that Miss Kingston here is going to be one of our most important stars at Superior Pictures.
Yeah. Are you going to put her right into a picture, Mr. Kern?
Of course. As soon as she gets back from touring the country. And when she does get back, we will, of course, team her with one of our most important male contract players.
Uh-huh. Which one?
It's getting a little late, fellas. Miss Kingston here has a very important, busy day ahead of her.